Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man. One of the videos that give us cause to say that is this video. It is from her Instagram stories from years and years ago. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a female chest, we have to take this down. Oftentimes, if breast cancer runs in a family, women will preemptively get like double mastectomies. And there are some great surgeons out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't see any scars on Brittney's chest that would be indicative of a double mastectomy or top surgery for gender.
Rickea Jackson has just thrown herself into the chaos surrounding Brittney Griner, and she did not come in quietly. Instead, she delivered a shocking revelation that might finally explain the strange tension fans have sensed between the two for quite some time. And yes, it connects directly to the wild rumors that have recently been swirling around Brittney. But here's where things take a serious turn. Rick claims she uncovered something huge about Brittney's true background, something completely different from the narrative the league has carefully crafted and promoted. Rather than going public right away, Rick kept the information to herself, stayed low-key, and let her performance on the court do the talking. But now, with people labeling her a troublemaker, she is finished staying silent. Rick is ready to expose everything and show the world who has been playing basketball and who has been playing everyone else. This drama feels less like a sports rivalry and more like a full-blown soap opera. In just a few months, the WNBA has transformed from an overlooked league into one of the most drama-filled corners of professional sports. And now, two of its most prominent stars, Rickea Jackson and Brittney Griner, are locked in a feud no one saw coming. Rick is not holding back. She is laying it all out, revealing how she came to believe that Brittney might not be the shining role model the league makes her out to be. Questions are being raised, like how one player can seemingly bend the rules of eligibility while everyone else is expected to follow them to the letter. Fans are left puzzled, wondering how this went unchecked. And this is not just about poor sportsmanship, it is starting to look intentional. That elbow? It was not the climax, it was just the beginning. Because even though Rick was not a rookie at the time, she was still taken aback by Brittney's intense aggression during what should have been a simple, ordinary play.
Dallas. This is her second stint with the
Rickea and Brittney Griner.
Griner and Jackson need to be separate. But here comes Rickea Jackson. I don't know that she knows that she's been tossed from this game. Hit debut at Dallas. This is her second stint with the
Rickea and Brittney Griner.
Griner and Jackson.
That level of aggression was extreme even for a close, competitive game. But that single moment lit a fire in Rick. She could not shake the sense that something deeper was going on. So, she quietly began her own investigation into Brittney Griner. And what she uncovered completely flipped her understanding of the WNBA upside down. Rick had always heard quiet rumors, whispers about how the league hides certain truths to protect its image. But this was on a whole other level. According to her findings, one of the WNBA's biggest stars was allegedly playing under false circumstances, and the league knew about it. Worse, they were not protecting the truth for the sake of fairness or transparency. It was all about preserving a progressive image for the public eye. And yes, the player she was talking about was none other than Brittney Griner. Suddenly, all of Brittney's over-the-top aggression started to make a twisted kind of sense. Rick realized Brittney was not just being reckless on a whim, she was emboldened because she knew she had serious backing. We are talking top-level protection from the league's highest offices. And let's not act like this was an isolated incident. Brittney has a history. Her entire career has been peppered with moments caught on camera, players wincing, limping off the court, teammates speaking out, trainers patching up bruises, all pointing back to one name. When it is the same player at the center of so many physical altercations, from both her own team and the opposition, maybe it is time to stop pretending this is just part of the game.
On tape during a game with the Indiana Fever, dropping racial slurs against Caitlin Clark, and pretty obviously doing so.
Tap fouls that we were talking about earlier today.
And it doesn't take a lot of genius to lip read Brittney Griner, whose voice, by the way, is about as low as mine is, calling her trash and an effing white girl. Now, of course, if Caitlin Clark had ever suggested the same in reverse, using black as opposed to white in that sentence, that'd be the end of her WNBA career. But
there is
Griner,
clearly something much deeper beneath the surface. And what is crazy is, this is not even being exaggerated. The footage speaks for itself. Brittney Griner getting overly physical on the court is not a rare occurrence, it is a recurring pattern. Even if you only started watching women's basketball recently, chances are you have already seen those viral clips of Brittney going after Caitlin Clark during games, practically bullying her on the court. Rick had been observing everything closely, and the deeper she looked, the more suspicious it all seemed. That is when the big question started to surface. How does Brittney always walk away unscathed, while her opponents leave limping, injured, or even benched for entire games? It did not add up until fans started connecting the dots. The speculation grew louder. What if Brittney's unmatched physical dominance comes from the fact that she is not playing on equal footing with the rest of the league? And this is exactly why, for decades, sports have separated men and women, because the physical playing field is simply not the same. This is not opinion, it is backed by science. Medical experts have studied this for years. From stamina and lung capacity to muscle mass, height, recovery rates, and strength, research consistently shows that men and women differ significantly in athletic performance. It is not about one being superior. It is about acknowledging those biological realities to ensure fairness and safety. That is the whole point of having separate male and female divisions in sports worldwide. So when fans watched Brittney consistently overpowering her opponents, leaving a trail of injuries behind her, the whispers turned into real questions. What exactly is going on behind the scenes?
Is clearly a man. Why is she able to play in the WNBA? Behind this lies three terrifying truths. Brittney Griner has been married twice. She has publicly acknowledged that she is a lesbian. She refused to undergo the Olympic medical examination. This is because she was born with a Y chromosome and has multiple.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to simple science and genetics, nothing groundbreaking. But here is the real issue. What happens when a player competing in the women's division has physical traits and capabilities that give her an undeniable edge over every other athlete on the court? That is when fans really started putting the puzzle pieces together. Take this strange example. How did Instagram's AI fail to flag a topless video of Brittney Griner? That clip floated around the internet far longer than anyone expected. Normally, if a female athlete posts something even remotely revealing, the platform pulls it down instantly for violating content guidelines. But Brittney's video stayed live. Some speculated the AI may not have even recognized the clip as female content. It was that ambiguous, and this is where the whole situation started to boil over. While doing her quiet digging, Rick allegedly came across some medical documents, ones that, according to her, confirmed the rumors that had been circulating for years. She believes Brittney Griner might not be who the public has been led to believe she is. But that led to another burning question: how did Rick even get access to something that private? Turns out, Rick is far more than just a top-tier athlete. Her rapid rise in the league came with serious behind-the-scenes access. With that success came connections, powerful ones. Executives, insiders, influencers, you name it. So, when Rick wanted answers, she knew exactly who to approach, and she asked the right questions. Once she learned the full story about Brittney, the subtle tension between them exploded into open hostility. What started as competitive energy on the court turned into undeniable bad blood. By mid-last year, the vibe between them had shifted completely. What once looked like mutual respect between two elite athletes, competitive but cordial, was suddenly replaced with cold stares, heated moments, and raw animosity. This was no longer a rivalry. It had become all-out war, but what really ignited Rick's fury was not just the idea that Brittney might be bending the rules simply by stepping on the court. It was the realization that none of it seemed to matter. Even after uncovering what she believed was the truth, Rick saw that it changed nothing. Brittney was not just being allowed to keep playing, she was being shielded. And it was not just the WNBA running interference. It started to look like the entire system, from media to major institutions, was standing firmly behind her.
Brittney Griner was in a Russian prison. You would think that somebody who is now free, back in America, on home soil, would not have too much to complain about. Especially something like this. Fans in every sport. She described the fans.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what sport you are. It doesn't matter what sport you pick. That's how fans act in every arena. In every arena. So, and then when you clearly she's not remembering who they let out to get her back.
The
or
Merchant
American
of
Soul.
Death.
The Merchant of Death. An arms dealer that wanted to kill American citizens, according to the reports. That's who they let out for her. You would think that you would be smiling, you would be ecstatic, you would be happy, and something like this wouldn't faze you at all. The fact that it does is disturbing. I'll leave it at that.
Brittney Griner comes out and says, I am so sick and tired of the NBA, WNBA. It used to be a peaceful, small little thing. Now there's crowds screaming.
Think that sounds far-fetched? Then take a moment to hear what Stephen A. Smith pointed out not too long ago. Brittney Griner was released from a Russian prison in exchange for a convicted terrorist. And not just any terrorist, we are talking about a man nicknamed the Merchant of Death. Let that sink in for a second. The detail seems to vanish whenever the media celebrates Brittney's return. Her supporters never seem eager to answer the one burning question. What kind of logic leads to trading a professional basketball player for a globally known arms dealer? Surely, there were other options, other negotiations, other deals that could have brought her home. But for some reason, this was the one they went with, and when you really think about it, there is only one explanation that makes any real sense. Brittney Griner is being protected at the very highest levels, not just because of her celebrity or athletic status, but because someone, somewhere, does not want the truth about her background or her powerful connections to ever reach the surface.
Can you not play? Do you have an advantage or are you at a disadvantage? It's not even that hard. Biological men don't play against biological women. Why? Because they will be dusting you off all day long. Do you think that Brittney Griner can play in the NBA? F no. She wouldn't even make any team in the NBA. Brittney Griner wouldn't make a single NBA team roster. None. She wouldn't even be on a practice squad. And you know what they do during training? This is what makes me infuriated. You know what the women do when they train in basketball? They play against men who are not professional. Because the women ain't gonna push them to be better. The men are gonna push them. And she know that, I know that, you know that. But they still get on stage and be disingenuous and foolish. Nobody's trying to block a transgender for playing sports. You just can't cheat, bruh. Why is there no trans man being ousted in sports? Why? A woman turned into a man. Why don't we see any examples? Show me an example of a woman turning into a man and winning first place. Because we know it don't happen.
If a secret like that were ever confirmed publicly, the fallout would be absolutely explosive. We are talking massive lawsuits, full-blown scandals, and the credibility of the entire league going up in smoke. Just imagine the outrage, fans realizing they were misled for years, buying jerseys, watching games, supporting a league that may have never played by the rules. The legal aftermath alone could clog courtrooms for the next decade, and as for Rick, she is far from done. She has already shown the world that she knows how to move in silence and uncover the truth. And now, it looks like she is just getting started. If she manages to dig deep enough to expose the people shielding Brittney, whether inside the WNBA or beyond, it could spark the biggest controversy the league has ever seen. But here is the real question. Does Brittney see it coming? Will she catch wind of Rick's next move before everything goes up in flames? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this eye-opening, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear the truth. Hit that notification bell so you do not miss what comes next, because this story is far from over. We will see you in the next one.